Okay, Coach Finn here, and we're continuing on in our defensive series. And what are your roles when you're in your group of five? What is your strength? What is your weakness? And know what each of your roles are. That's what we're trying to get to. Very important segment right here is transition defense and system style. I put, if you're going to read my handwriting. But imagine we've made the shot, and I'm not going to put them out here yet to not make it too busy looking at this point. But they've inbounded the ball, and where we are now is 1 and 5 have put a great trap on these guys. 3, 4 is doing their job. They've gotten back, and now they're reading the quality of the trap. Well, let's say the trap isn't very good. Let's say 1, let them go right up the side here. 3 was doing their job to gap, but it got away. 2 is doing their job, the gap got away. I'm going to talk about some measures of what these guys can do once the ball gets into the open floor in a minute. But I want to make this point that 4, being our safety, has to develop the skills, or anyone else who finds himself in this position where the opponents are in the middle of the court and they've broken our press and they're going. 4's job is to get back, and it's called let it come. We're letting it come. We're letting the ball come in system ball. In traditional transition defense, the closest to the ball is going to try to stop the ball, get in front of it, slow it down, while the others sprint to the key to protect it. Okay, we're trying to prevent them to score. But in system defense, this is something you got to teach yourself, that we are trying to get them to shoot a contested shot or get a turnover within 12 seconds when they get the ball. That's a very key point. So we're letting the ball come, and 4's job is thinking of as they start to, I'm not going to put a ball handler with the ball, but let's say they're running kind of the same lanes. Let's say 2 and 3 are out, and it's a 3-on-1. These guys have some jobs, which I'll talk about in a minute. But let's say they get out. 4's job is to feint and go back and forth and try to push the ball to one side or the other. And either, if they take it all the way, don't block the shot, but keep your feet and keep your hands up over the eyes and make it a contested shot. All right? If they get it out to here, still make it a contested shot, best you can. Ideally, can you take a charge so we can go the other way? But your job is to have a contested shot, or best case scenario, you're kind of feinting back and forth. You've worked on these skills, and you feint this way, so they're going to go this way, and you tricked them to where you feint here, and you then jump the pass, and you're off onto the break going the other way. And then we go into our offensive principles. If you have the ball handles, great. Otherwise, you're looking for one ideally, or someone else who can get the ball. If you're the 5, happen to get it, you're giving it to somebody who can get the ball going. But ideally, it's you're off and running. So the safety has a very important skill set beyond offensive rebounding. If they are a good shooter, shooting, ball handling skills, being a screener, knowing their role and what they can and can't do. But the number 1 role for 4, besides being a good inbounder, is being a great safety and getting those skills down. So anyway, let's come back to 4's back. The ball has been inbounded, and this goes for whether it's missed or made on our side. We got a trap going, a quality trap going. Okay? But if the ball is split through a pass or a dribble into the middle, once you see the ball get into the middle, we're going to let it come. And let's say the ball is passed. Ideally, one tries to gap it and steal it. But let's say it's passed and It's off and running. Well, there's a reason to, let's start to put some guys in here. Let's say there 3 got the ball in the middle off of a pass. 1 could have dribbled out of it with a pass, or with a dribbling. But there are some rules of let the ball come, we want to steal it, or have a contested shot, but we want them to shoot it. And there's ways to prevent them from letting the ball come back out in a minute. And when you are, if you're close, if you start to, you're broken, you're close, and you can come up behind the ball. You come up behind the ball. You'll work on the skill set here. A way to steal the ball is called a back tap. And I'll just quickly say that on a back tap, you're looking to come up behind the ball with your hand right behind the ball, and as the ball comes off the floor, you hit it forward. And then ball's coughed up forward, and that's a skill to then steal the ball and go the other way. So one thing you can do to start to steal from behind is the back tap. If you can't quite get to the back tap, or you can't quite get close enough to do that, you want to do what's called a shoulder run. Somebody close, get on that ball handler's shoulder. Don't get in front of them, and keep them coming down the court. Keep them coming. All right? These guys will start to come up. There's a reason for 5 and 3 and 2 to still have energy, because we're trying to get them to get a shot off in 12 seconds. And 2 and 3 become what are called chasers. Okay? And they see these guys come up the floor. 3 might want to pass out to them. We don't want the ball to come out to them. It gives them chances to slow things down or score. So we're sprinting a dead sprint here to, we see 2 people ahead of us, then we're both going chaser, we're calling it out, and we're trying to, as the ball comes out, take out these lateral passes. All right? Meanwhile, as these guys are coming up, if somehow one, or let's see, 3 had the ball and they get stopped here. Okay, things get stopped. There's something called the lock-on, and we'll talk about that in a minute in the half court, where all of a sudden we get them stopped. They're turning around looking to get it out, and 1 and 5 are down sprinting ahead to prevent the guys coming up behind from getting the ball back out. We want them to be forced to shoot a bad shot or steal the ball. This is deadly, and trying to get them to shoot within 12 seconds. When they're able to, if we just take our time, let's say 1's usually down here, but 5's just kind of trotting, they don't have to sprint all the way down. They have to go coast to coast, but they have to go coast to the middle to become a lock-on, to prevent that ball facing up, preventing that ball from coming back out to the guy, because we are trying to stop them, get the turnovers, get them to shoot, so we can come back and shoot our 3s, or later in the count, drive and post and do all that work. All right. So I just talked about the role of 4 being the safety, the other guys communicating, letting the ball come, then back tap principles, chaser principles, lock-on principles, shoulder runs. Let me say one thing about the shoulder run. Let's say the ball gets into the middle. I'm just throwing people all over the place right now, but we know 4's back. Let's say that 1 somehow has the ball here and things are coming, and 1 has the ball. A shoulder run would be something like this, where 1's going here, taking him to 4, but then realizing he could want to pass it out. 4 is going to do his job, so he peels off and becomes a chaser to take out an alley. Now yes, this might be open here. Hopefully 3 has already done their job and seeing that opportunity. With 1 being on this side shouldering him, he knows that I got to bust up here to take away this side of the pass possibility. 4 is going to do their job to slow him down. Ideally, the most important thing, if we don't get the turnover, the best way is to get them to stop and do a mid-range shot. It's a little bit harder shot to make, but if we don't get the steal, make them do that. But on this shoulder stuff, let's say 3 was peeling up and bringing him to 4, getting right on the shoulder, and we'll work on the techniques. But then, as we get close to 4, you peel off as 1 comes here, and then these become our lock-ons. So you see there's a lot of defense requires talking. And with talking, and this is the last point I'll make, it takes a lot of communication to communicate who's the chaser, who's the safety, trapping, who's got gaps, it's broken. You're trying to do the techniques of back tapping or shoulder running, who's got a chaser, who's got left side, right side, lockdown. We got to have the energy, both vocally and also in our feet, to get to the places to not allow them to get it back out and lock on. And that's why between the speed of coming down in 12 seconds and the speed of trying to get a shot, making them shoot in 12 seconds, let alone getting a turnover for us to go the other way, that's why the shifts are so fast. It requires energy and effort and communication. So you guys will start to practice this and become accountable to each other for this. And the bigger picture of all this isn't necessarily you'll become more successful in the court, but you'll start to love each other more. Talking and energy and knowing your roles is a beautiful thing. So anyway, Coach Finn out.